There are many happy video games that you can play, video games with flowers and with horses that you can ride on. There are also some very brutal and extremely violent video games, and today I'm going to count down the top 10 goriest video games of all time. Now, before you go on with the video, you must know the difference. It's not the list of the most violent video games, otherwise games like Hatred or GTA will be on the list. We are looking at the goriest video games, the ones that show the more graphic nature of violence. So, let's start. The recently released The Witcher 3 is a very graphic video game. Not as graphic as other games on the list, but it's still very violent. Even though most of the times there isn't dismemberment, when there is, it's really bloody. People get cut in half, they get decapitated, they get burned alive. It's very graphic, even though most of the times they just turn into awkward ragdolls. At number 9 is Left 4 Dead 2. This masterpiece of co-op gameplay by Valve is very brutal. It was actually banned in Australia because of its nature. And you can shoot zombies in the head, they will get blown into bits. But the game is kind of outdated graphically, talking about the gore especially. So that's why it's low on the list. At number 8 we have a more recent game similar to Left 4 Dead, and that's Killing Floor 2. The gore is incredible. You can go around swinging a katana, destroying enemies, cutting them in half, and you can also shoot them with shotguns, hit them with an hammer, and bits of brains scattered all over the place. And it's really powerful. Number 7 is a game that you don't really think would be really all that violent since it's only in 2D. But Hotline Miami is a brutal video game, especially if you actually think of what you're doing. Oh look, I just turned the man's head and poked his eyes out. Yeah, okay. Well, you just smashed a crowbar into someone's face and he's missing half face. Yeah, it's fine, I guess. Oh wait. And that's Hotline Miami for you. At number 6 we're going back in medieval times, and specifically we're going back in medieval warfare. Chivalry Medieval Warfare is the most violent medieval game out there right now. There is an entire mode that parodies the Black Knight of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And you can just go around swinging your sword and people will lose limbs, they will lose their head, blood splatters all over the place, and it's extremely graphic. At number 5 is Dead Space 2. Now you know that a game is gory when the entire premise is to kill an enemy, to kill a space alien monster zombie. You must shoot his legs so he can stop moving for a bit, and you must destroy him, kicking him in the ground. Just look at these videos. And plus, we can't forget the eye scene. God of War 3, it's pure mythology. Not the mythology like the cartoon Hercules, with everyone going around singing songs. No, it's the mythology where gods kill each other, people get their skins peeled off, some people might lose their lives, some might lose their eyes. It's a brutal video game, probably the goriest one on the PS3, and it's kind of shocking actually when you play it, but it's a fun game nonetheless. At number 3 is kind of an unknown game, probably more underrated than unknown, but it's Soldier of Fortune 2 Double Helix. It's the most violent FPS, in my opinion. If you start shooting a person, they might die. If you shoot them in the head, it becomes all red. If you shoot it again, they might lose a little bit of it. If you keep shooting, it basically disappears. And are these little details that make this 2003-2004 game still very, very graphic to this very day. At number 2 is Manhunt 2. The only other game after Hatred to be rated adults only because of its violence. And I still think this to be one of the more controversial games of all time, and for very good reasons, because in the actual uncensored version of the game there are some brutal kills, not for the faint of heart, and I'm not kidding. People get their heads taken off with a crowbar, they get choked with plastic bags. It's actually very shocking. If you're not ready for this type of game, don't play it. And at number 1, we have Mortal Kombat X. The entire franchise is extremely gory. But let's be honest, the originals don't hold up very well to this day. But the latest in this franchise is by far the goriest video game of all time. Just look at all of these fatalities. Just look at them, huh? Keep watching them. I don't need to say anything more. So guys, these were my top 10 goriest video games of all time. Tell me down below, which one do you prefer to this game? Do you actually like gore in your games, or you just want some blood and stop it like that? Tell me what you think of this video in the comments below, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.